Hey guys, today we're going to be testing out brand new makeup from Flower Beauty. They have a new contour wand, they have some new lip products that look very similar to the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, a new mascara, and more. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So first up, let's start out with the new mascara. So this is called the Dream Warrior Mascara, and I'll show you guys the packaging really quickly. It says it's a volumizing mascara for weightless volume and lift, and that 94% of people saw lifted lashes. It says that lashes go dreamy with our cloud-like fluffy formula infused with Cloud Boost technology, not sure what that is, to uplift your lashes, and that their exclusive lash lift brush features bio-based bristles that grip and lift every lash. So I actually really like this brush. I love how skinny it is because it really helps to get up to the roots of the lashes without getting mascara all over my eyelids, which I always tend to do with bigger brushes. And I felt that this mascara gave a really good amount of volume. It didn't give quite as much length as I would like, but overall, as I was applying, I noticed that the formula felt kind of wet, which I was surprised by, because when they said that it was a cloud-like formula, I was expecting it to be a little bit more on the moussey, drier side, but it actually felt very wet. However, it dries really fast, so it doesn't sit on your lashes wet and kind of weigh them down. And I actually really liked the final result. I thought that my lashes had volume, again, not quite as much length as I would like, but they didn't have clumps, they didn't look spidery, and I did feel like they were pretty lifted. I always get questions on whether I curl my lashes before I apply mascara, and I never do, and the reason for that is because my lashes just have natural curl already, so anytime I ever try to curl my lashes beforehand, I just feel like they look the same, so it's just an extra step that I don't feel like I have to do. So it's always hard for me to say whether a mascara helps curl your lashes up, because for me, every mascara does that, but I do feel like my lashes look a bit lifted with this, and I don't think it's gonna weigh your lashes down because of just how quickly it dries, and it does make them feel kind of very light and fluffy. So if that's something you're looking for, I think you will really like this a lot. Next, I also got two new primers from Flower Beauty. So these are the Skin Smoothie primers, and I got the Power Matte one and the Radiant Glow, but there's also a hydrating version as well. So let's check out the Power Matte one first. This says it's a detox for the skin. This primer helps to blur the appearance of pores and smooth imperfections for a soft focus mattifying effect. The advanced blend of thyme, green tea, and sunflower seed oil helps reduce shine and control oil and helps makeup to stay put. And as I'm applying it to my hand, I can definitely see how much smoother my skin looks on that side of my hand versus the other. So I'm really excited to try this. I think actually what I'm gonna do is take a photo of my pores really close up with my phone, and then when I put it on, I'm gonna take another photo and we'll compare the two. All right, so this has a really creamy feel, actually. I was a little bit nervous when they said that it was a matte primer because I was thinking that it might feel dry on my drier skin, but it actually feels really nice. It has a super kind of silky feel, and it did say that it had sunflower oil in it, and it almost does feel a little bit oily. I don't know how oily skin types are gonna feel about that because it just feels really nourishing, very hydrating. So I don't know. And it's also making my skin feel really smooth, but I don't know if it's gonna necessarily make it look smoother. So we'll take another photo and find out. All right, so I'm just gonna take another picture really quick. All right, let's take a look at them side by side. So just zooming in on it here. I feel like it maybe minimized them just slightly. I don't know why the lighting is off, by the way, because I literally took these photos sitting in the same spot. But yeah, I mean, I definitely still see my pores quite a bit. I don't think it minimizes them as well as the L'Oreal Studio Secrets primer that I really love. I mean, I definitely see a little bit of a difference, but it's not like, wow. Next, let's try the Radiant one. So this one says, your daily dose. Our primer brightens and illuminates with an infusion of ultrafine pearls to enhance your natural glow. The weightless, silky formula nourishes skin with an antioxidant-rich vitamin complex while prepping skin for seamless makeup application. I kind of wonder if this is similar to the e.l.f. Halo Glow or the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I feel like there are a lot of dupes for that going around lately. There's also the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, which has been out for a really long time, and it kind of seems like a similar product to that as well. So yeah, I definitely noticed the glow on my skin. And what I like about this is kind of similar to the e.l.f. Halo Glow. It's not glittery. It's more of that pearlized effect, and I actually like that this one is more of a pink tone. The e.l.f. ones are more yellow, and they do offer some coverage. This one does not offer any coverage whatsoever, but I have a pink undertone, so sometimes I feel like that little bit of a pink color kind of looks more flattering. Next up for foundation, I was gonna just try to keep this all Flower Beauty, and I was gonna use the Get Real Serum Foundation, but looking at the bottle, it seems to have turned a little bit of a funky color, and I noticed that this only has like a 6-month shelf life. And I think I've had this bottle for almost 2 years, so I don't want to use this one. Instead, I'm actually going to use the Rare Beauty Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer, which I think is super similar to the Flower Beauty Serum Foundation. And this is in the shade 20W. One thing I love about this is how lightweight it is, but it also gives pretty decent coverage. And I think the Flower Beauty one is really similar to that. It also has a really skin-like finish too, which I love. And I just like to apply this with my fingers because it's sheer, it kind of feels like a moisturizer, and I feel like your fingers just kind of help to melt foundation into your skin better. I always get questions on that too in videos. People are always like, why don't you use a sponge or a brush? I don't know, I just grew up using my fingers. Back in my day when I was just getting into makeup, there weren't beauty blenders and makeup brushes, so everybody just kind of used their fingers. Next up, we have a new concealer from Flower Beauty as well, and this is the Get Real Serum Concealer, so it goes along with the foundation. So I was actually expecting this to be a very lightweight serum-like texture. It says that it has buildable coverage, that it's hydrating, brightening, and smoothing. And I have it in the shade Ivory, and I was kind of surprised when I was doing the swatches initially that this is much thicker than I thought it was going to be. It's actually thicker than the foundation. And I guess a concealer sort of has to be a little bit thicker to be able to add more coverage. But I didn't necessarily feel that this was a serum-like texture, so that's just something that I wanted to mention because they do say that on the packaging. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little dot on the outer corner of my eye and just blend that also with my finger. This shade is definitely very light and brightening. Even though this says it has buildable coverage, I think the coverage is actually pretty good. It's at least, I would say it's at least medium coverage, if not a little bit more. So overall, I just feel like this concealer is a lot different than what I was expecting it to be. Like, look at one eye to the other. I just feel like that covered so much. It's really, really brightening. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my nose too, or around my nose, I should say. I mean, I can definitely see a big difference on this side of my face where I put the concealer versus this side. And this concealer doesn't feel super emollient or like really hydrating, but at the same time, it doesn't feel or look dry under my eyes, at least not yet. I'm gonna have to wait and kind of let it sit a little bit, but it's the type of formula that dries down really, really fast. So it almost kind of feels like it's self-setting. If you have a more oily skin type, I don't know if it'll do that for you, but at least on my dry skin, I don't necessarily feel like I need to set this. So here are just some quick close-ups of my eye area. I just took some more pictures with my phone so that you can see up close and personal. So far, I don't feel like it's settling into the fine lines under my eyes, and I also think it looks pretty smooth and not cakey. So far so good, but I'll have to update you down below on how this wears throughout the day. Next up, we have the new Low Light Contour Wand. So these leaked on Trendmood. Some people were finding them at CVS. I tried to get them on the Ulta website, and they completely sold out so fast. So I went to my local CVS's. I went to several different ones. I finally found them, and I wasn't sure what color to get, so I got the light and the medium ones. They also had a deep option, which I did not buy. So let me just show you these up close really quick. These are in the same packaging as their Spotlight highlighters. I really hope they make a blush in this packaging next. I think that would be so incredible. But these basically have the exact same packaging as the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, the Spotlight highlighters, the Glowgasm or the Pinkgasm blushes. It has the little sponge tip applicator and the little section where you can twist it to kind of open and close. Then you just squeeze the tube to let the product up. I think the light shade is definitely going to be the right color for me. It has a little bit more of a cool undertone, while the medium one is a little bit warmer. And for me, I like the cooler color, at least for contouring. I might use the medium one all over as more of a bronzer, but I think the light one is perfect. And I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand to compare it to, but I do have the new one from Tarte. So I just want to show you that really quick. I think that the Tarte one has pretty much the exact same packaging packaging, really, really similar. And I have the Tarte one in soft bronze, which is the lightest shade. And I think it's kind of in between these two colors. It's a little bit warmer than the light shade from Flower Beauty, but it's also not quite as warm as the medium shade from Flower. So it really is just very in between. And then just quickly, I also want to show you the Milani Conceal and Perfect contour wand in the shade Honey. This is also the lightest shade, and this one is also a bit warmer than light from Flower, but not quite as warm as the medium one. I'm gonna go ahead and use the light shade today, so I'm just gonna put a couple of dots right here under my cheek, and then I'm taking the Profusion Buffing Foundation brush, and I'm just gonna work this in under my cheekbone. It's super easy to blend. It actually reminds me a lot of the Tarte one. It's so similar. I did use that in a recent video as well, in case you want to check that out. I really enjoy it a lot, but I think I actually like this color even better. The Tarte one I sort of used all over as a bronzer. It didn't really seem to contour, but I think this one gives that perfect cooler tone that creates a bit of a shadow. I'm just gonna put a little bit under my chin. And I think it definitely makes a big difference. Like, here's the contoured side of my face, and then here's the other side, which looks a little bit more round. So I think it definitely does help to sculpt. And it almost has a very serum-like texture. I haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury one, so I don't really know what that one's like. But this one has a very liquid feel. It's not overly creamy or difficult to blend. It just really melts into your skin very easily. Just gonna do a little bit on my forehead as well. Might just do a little bit on my nose. I mean, really, that was effortless to blend. That took almost no time at all. So I'm actually loving this right now. I think I like it even better than the Tarte one. So yay. Next, we're just gonna add a little bit of blush, and I'm gonna use the shade Spiced Petal. This is the Flower Pots blush from Flower Beauty. These are some of my favorite blushes in my collection. I just think that they're so smooth. They're so silky, and the colors are just so flattering and beautiful. Next up, Flower also has some new lip products. So these are the Plump Up Gloss Stick. And when I first saw these, I immediately thought of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. These have very similar packaging. They have those click-up style pens. I got 3 different shades to try, but they come in 6 altogether. And they claim to be an all-in-one gloss bomb hybrid that nourishes, hydrates, and comfortably plumps the lips while delivering buildable color with a dewy, shiny finish. So they do sound a lot like the Tarte ones, and I actually took out my Tarte plumping ones to compare because these are also supposed to be plumping formulas, and packaging wise they're almost identical, except the Flower Beauty ones are just a little bit thinner while the Tarte ones are a little bit on the thicker side, but the applicator is the same shape, and then you click them up from the bottom to dispense the product. I do feel like as I was swatching them that the Tarte ones just look a little bit more glossy and a little bit more melty, so I would say that's the biggest difference between them. The Flower ones do have a meltier texture also, but I feel like they're more like a balm, whereas the Tarte ones look more like a gloss. They just seem to have a little bit more shine to them. So I figured I would just try on all the colors for you really quickly so you can see these in action. So the first one is the shade Sizzle, which is a really light pink. I'm curious to see if these tingle like the Tarte ones do, because they're also supposed to be like a plumping formula. All right, so here's the shade Sizzle. This is really pretty. Next up, we have the shade Spicy, and these do tingle, by the way. They feel pretty much the same as the Tarte ones. So again, this one is Spicy. And then the last one is Toasty. I actually like this one. It's kind of similar to the blush color that I have on. So what do you guys think of the new products from Flower Beauty? I'm definitely going to be wearing this look for the rest of the day, and I will let you know down below how everything wore and what my final thoughts are. But so far, I'm really impressed with everything. I feel like everything applied beautifully. I'm really loving this new contour product, and also these lip products seem really promising. They remind me a lot of the Tarte ones. Like I said, I don't feel like they're quite as shiny, but they're very close. They have the same tingly feel on your lips and that same melty texture, which I really love. They're super comfortable to wear. I also think that so far the concealer looks really good. I'm just gonna have to wear it a little bit longer to be able to know for sure. And the Dream Warrior mascara, I like it. Wouldn't say I love it because I like more length out of a mascara, but I feel like it's pretty good. I think I like the glowy primer a little bit more than the mattifying one, just because this didn't really seem to blur my pores quite as much as I was hoping that it would. But I do like the glow that this one gave my my skin. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it so much. If you're new here and you love drugstore makeup, be sure to hit the subscribe button before you go because I do a lot of drugstore content here on my channel as well as dupes. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I really appreciate it so much. And if you'd like to check out another video, if you have some time, I'll go ahead and put something right up here for you to check out next. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye.